everyone, welcome back to the 80s Metal Headz show. We are with two of the DAD band members.
Definitely.
Yes.
You guys want to introduce yourselves?
Yes, my name is Jesper.
And I'm Jacob, and I'm the lead guitar player.
Well, welcome back to Australia, guys. It's great to have you. You played in Sydney last night. How was that?
It was great. There were a lot of people in the Manning's bar, and it was a great rock and roll show. Actually, we enjoyed ourselves very much.
And we've been to before that Brisbane and Perth, and so it's our last show tonight in Melbourne, and it's been wonderful.
After Melbourne, where are you guys going?
We're going. We have a day off in Melbourne. It's going to be nice, and then we're going back to a place called Svendborg.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, Svendborg is a small town in Denmark, and that's where we're going to play our next festival gig. And then actually the summer starts with the gig in the festival in Svendborg. Day after in a place called Herning. So it's very interesting.
Who else is playing with you in that festival, Joe?
Good question.
Yeah,
Very
we
good
don't
question.
know.
You
But
don't know?
well, Danish festivals are like Danish local acts, so you wouldn't know. No. But it's like we have a tradition of summer festivals in Denmark. There's quite a lot, although it's a really small country. But all summer there's a lot of festivals.
How long have you been playing those festivals for, from like when you started to now?
Oh, I think it's the last 25, 30 years we've been playing those festivals. It's like it's this time around. Maybe some of our peers are actually. There's a Danish metal band called Beast. We're gonna share the bill with them on one of the festivals, and I think that we're actually gonna play probably with Pretty Mates as well at one of those. So surely, slowly. Rock acts are creeping in on these festivals.
That's awesome. So you just mentioned Pretty Mates.
Yep.
Where you guys started to now, what are some big names you've like played with or toured with?
Ozzy Osbourne, back in the early 90s, that was something else, because it was, although he had a hit with No More Tears, I think that was the lowest point of it. It was just before it took really off, and it was before he made the reality show. So we played shows with him for Brixton Academy in London, which is like 3,000-4,000 or something like that.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I remember at the first gig, we were standing in the catering, and you could see in the hallway there was this creature going. It looked like an old woman, and was Ozzy Osbourne. It was like with a I don't know, the badekåbe.
A rope.
Wearing a rope. He just got out of bed. It's like, you guys, just let me know if you've got any problems. Just come to me. Hello.
Classic Ozzy.
Yeah.
Was that when he was with Jake E. Lee or Zakk Wylde? Do you know?
That was Zakk Wylde. The beginning of Zakk Wylde.
Okay.
Yeah.
So about 1987, 6?
Good question.
91.
91.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, and we've played with the Status Quo. We played with the Motorhead, and I actually saw with my own eyes Lemmy with his bring along machine. One-armed. What do you call it?
The slot machine.
One-armed.
Slot
In his
machine.
backstage room.
Really?
He sat in there,
Wow.
playing with himself, as we say in Denmark.
Yeah.
That
And we
is
played
something
with
else.
Aerosmith as well. Yeah.
All these classic bands. So who have you favoured to tour with most? Who have you liked touring with most back then or even now?
The worst was Skid Row. They were the worst.
Okay.
Sebastian Bach, he was like a real pain in the ass. But who were the best? I don't know.
Is there anyone that you haven't toured with or you want to tour with now or get the chance to?
That's a good question, very good question. Because we're just looking to. I mean, we would love to tour with the Helicopters or the Hives at the moment, like Swedish bands, and we are touring in the fall with a Finnish band called 69 Eyes in Europe.
Yeah.
So stuff like that. That's I love playing with those guys, but what's the
Aerosmith
big dream?
doesn't play anymore, but that would be cool.
I think the guitarist Aerosmith's doing his little solo tour, isn't he?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah,
Okay.
Would you guys like to play with him?
definitely.
Yeah.
Because I had a question. I was going to do a Q&A segment at the end.
Mhm.
So I had some fans message me and I did a little post. One of them was, are you guys going to tour, when are you guys touring America?
That's another good question. Because we're doing the Monsters of Rock cruise every other year, and there's a chance that you can actually like jump off ship and then make a small tour over there. We did it in 13 or 14. It's at the moment it's not like a big thing for us.
No, it's not a big thing, and even I mean, right now, the feeling is not really that welcoming over there. I mean, you could. They put you behind bars if you like for nothing. It's just, you know, a Danish guy got arrested for having posted something on his Facebook page.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So I mean, it's, well, I'm not paranoid, but I don't. It's not a nice country these days, I think. So I'd rather go somewhere else.
So maybe the Monsters of Rock cruise.
That's what
we're
we're
going
doing.
there in 26. Yeah.
26? Okay,
Yeah,
that's
yeah.
next year. That's next
Exactly.
year.
Yeah.
So you guys have been playing, what, 40 plus years?
Mm-hmm.
How do you change up each show from year to year, you know? Because you can't, like some bands obviously change it up with Kiss, with their choreography, and some other bands with new albums, but what's your main thing?
Our main thing is, of course, there's a handful of songs from the old days that we love to play, and so that's a given, and I think that trying to incorporate as many as the new songs as possible, see which of the new songs will stick. That's like a big thing for us to keep on, you know, giving the new songs a tough run, so that they maybe will be part of, you know, the classic set list. But we have to admit that some of the songs from Riskin It All and No Fuel are the ones that the audience want to hear. So there's always 5 or 7 of those.
Yeah, I would admit, to me, those are your two classics, the 1981 and 1991. But from then to now, with the music style, playing, like everything in general, what's changed from those old albums to the 2024 one you've just released?
Well, we've always been running off in all kinds of directions over the years. If we listen to everything, it's like there's a lot of stuff there. But I think like the 2 records, No Fuel and Riskin It All, they're like in the center of what we do. And the latest record is like, that's in the same ballpark as those 2. And then you have like the album Help with Selfish, which is way off to one side, and then Simpatico, which is way off to the other side. And that's kind of the spectrum, and we can't help it because I mean we get too. I think we're too curious to stay like in a narrow.
I think it's good that you guys like branching out, not just being the same. Because some bands they just stay in the same path. But I've listened to a lot of your albums, and you guys definitely branch off.
Yeah.
But I know what you mean when you say that the fans just want to hear the main stuff, but sometimes it's good for them to hear the other stuff.
Oh yeah, we're definitely very good at giving them some stuff they don't want. We're very good at that, and it's like I think we keep our whole thing going just because of the new songs, making new music. That's how we stay alive, actually.
So, what can we expect like for your new tour? What songs can we expect on like a set list? And what,
For tonight?
Well, your whole tour, like when you go to your next show and the festival, what's been
The
mapped
funny
out?
thing is actually that the set list from this tour is actually going to survive probably for Denmark and Europe and Monsters of Rock. Right now I think we have a good mix of I mean it's even 4 new songs. It's a bit provocative, but
I think that we when we are here in Australia, then we play a bit more of No Fuel, for instance, and then if we're back at home in Denmark, we have some songs that were like radio hits, and we play them in Denmark, but sometimes they're not relevant, and so we have like there's certain songs we play all the time. And then we shuffle around with the others. But we try to keep one set list for a season, more or less. Yeah.
So, with your new album, and you're just saying like changing songs, can we expect another album in the future? Is there any talks?
There's always another album, but who knows when.
Nobody knows.
Where do you guys normally record your albums?
Where?
Yeah, like what
Often Copenhagen, because that you know, yeah, that we spend all the calories in the studio and then just hang out at home.
We travel enough as it is, so when
This has been a long flight. What? How many hours from where you guys were to here?
It's easily a 24-hour flight, you know, with a couple of breaks.
yeah.
Yeah, about a day and a half and all that. Did you guys start in Copenhagen?
Yeah.
Yeah. What year?
84.
84.
Yeah.
And what was your main goal when you guys were in 84? What was your main goal?
Okay, that was to be the Ramones. That was like the main goal, to get 500 or 600 people in a rock club. That was like that was the top.
Do you think you guys smashed that goal?
Oh yeah, many years ago.
Any new goals or
Yeah,
anything you want to achieve?
Well, I don't know. I think we were so young when we started, so I mean we didn't think too far ahead, and thank God for that, because then you just scare yourself. But one step at a time, and then ambitions grew and grew and grew, and we worked very hard, and then we got like what we wanted. The ambition of getting a record deal in the US, that grew out of working, and we got that, and we toured the world, came to Australia and all that. So
Obviously, you guys would have had highs and lows back in the day.
Mm.
What kept you guys going, like for yourselves? What did you guys think or do that I'm going to do it, I'm going to be like the Ramones, I'm going to accomplish that goal?
Realizing more and more that the time spent in the rehearsal space, the time spent composing, the time spent exploring your instrument, exploring your voice, your own voice, is actually very healing, and it's therapy in itself. So all the ambitions only arrives after you've got your after you've healed yourself, after you've made some songs that you're proud of, that mirrors where you are. Then suddenly, hey, we can play this for people. So I think it's getting more and more close to being an artist, more than as opposed to be successful.
I think that, yeah, all the surrounding stuff becomes less and less interesting. I think it's the main thing is for me is to create the music. That's like the main thing. That's what keeps you going, and that's what you can keep that interesting if you dig into it, and that is rewarding. Yeah. Touring and sitting on a bus or plane, I mean, that part is not rewarding. Playing shows, writing music, that's it. They pay me to travel. I'll play for free.
That's fair. That's because some rockers now do it for the money. You know, I've heard some bands that
It's okay.
takes
It
too
can be a
much
job.
to-
Yeah, it can be. It's okay.
But it's good to hear that you want to just play for because it's music. For the
Oh yeah,
fans.
it's
That's important.
it's because it's going. We've had our highs and lows, and we found out that we would do it anyway.
How would you accomplish those lows? How would you make it into a high? Or how would you get out of that low? If you could think back or even now.
Trying to realize that the lows are part of the highs, and that the dynamic is part of everything. And getting out of it is not trying to look somewhere else. It's just work with your songs, work with your music, be in the rehearsing space, find out who you are and what you're doing, and that's rewarding, and that's how you get out of
Just hard work.
the whole. Yeah, but also just
And you can't control it anyway.
you have to love the core thing of the whole thing, and that is making the music.
Yeah, I mean that you the first time you run into lows or failure, or suddenly no one shows up at a show. So, I mean, you try to let go of the control. What happens. You do your thing as the way you want it to sound for yourself, and that's basically all you can do.
That's really, yeah. I
Mm.
mean, you know, everyone, like you're saying, everyone has their lives and highs and lows, and sometimes people just quit once they're in a low or just stop.
Yeah.
But it's good because the best bands come out when they're determined and, you know, want to get through it. And that's why I think a lot of people can like look up to that and go, oh, that's why these guys are like touring around the world on festivals and all that.
I think it's interesting to tour the world in the sense that you see places, meet people, but it's gonna be very a hollow feeling if you're not proud of your music or you did your hard work at home. So that's like an add-on. If you could really proud and the songs are working, then everything like follows with that. It's very hard to be determined just to be determined. To travel the world with shit music, it's a hard job.
You gotta have music like from like passion.
Exactly.
So, so speaking of that, like, how do you guys write your music? Like, is it from a story or did you guys see something? Because there's different ways people write stories. Like one of the Rolling Stone members, was it? He had a dream of a song and then just made it.
We've been here for so many years, so we've tried everything. But I'd say that mostly it comes out of 3 chords or a riff, and that because we're so much into this life, this riff or those chords has a lot of emotions in it, and then we just try to work out of those emotions. I think so. It is the guitar. It comes out of the guitar.
Yeah, it starts with just maybe a riff or some chords or just a little bit, and then add on, and then maybe there's a line somewhere that fits to the mood in that song, and then goes from there.
Is there any like songs that you have in the background but just haven't released yet? Maybe from back in the day, maybe you just don't think it's good enough. And like, if so, are you guys gonna like put on some sort of like record? Or
we cleaned out the closet a handful of years ago, or maybe more, and those songs that we have now are not worth listening to.
Okay.
Yeah, we have some outtakes on each album. We have outtakes. We write a bunch of songs, then we go and do a demo, and then we do that a few times, and then we have like a bulk of songs, and then we go in and record it. And in that process, we drop a few songs, and those songs are dropped for a reason. And we might have 1 or 2 songs that we record completely, and then they don't make it to the album. Yeah. And we released a few of those on the 25th anniversary compilation. Yeah, I don't know. Still don't know if it was a good idea, but we did.
Has anyone complained to you guys about that? Or?
No.
This is something completely out of the blue, but I did want to bring it up. So I think it was '99. I don't know what happened with the drummer situation, but you got a new drummer.
Yeah.
He's still playing with you. Yeah. How was that like for a band? You know, one of your band members leaving and bring another one in. How do you determine which drummer you want to bring in?
It's very easy in a way actually, and that is keep on being born. Today is a new day. So when Lars joined us, it wasn't because we wanted to recreate something from the old days. It was simply just living and moving on in that sense. And of course, Lars had his input, drum-wise also. And of course, he's been with us and composing. So it's been a big collaboration ever since. But it was not like we wanted to copy what had happened. It was only for the future. That he was so that was it more or less solved itself, together into the future.
Because and he made it solve itself because he's a great drummer and he can sing backing vocals and he plays other instruments as well. So it was like that's the one.
Oh,
yeah.
So it wasn't. It wasn't. He made it a very smooth transition. Yeah.
Was it hard?
It was hard. He's not a very good person, you know. So
he's a pain in the ass, but don't tell him.
And he's been with you for what, over 20 years now?
25 years. Yeah, don't 25? Mention the war. Yeah, wow. Yeah.
Well, since you're here, I'll ask you a question.
Yes.
When you played the first show with the guys, how was it? Were you nervous or?
Yeah, loud.
Oh, there we go.
Yes, I was really nervous because I didn't really know much about the band. I knew a couple of the hits, and we had to play like 20 songs, I think, and so I had to learn 20 songs in a week, and that was very nerve-wracking. And then we played this indoor stadium, handball kind of thing, and they were running around on the amps and on the drums and like fucking going crazy, and I was like, stop! It was too much. So yeah, but it was good.
That's good.
Yeah.
So the nerves just went quickly after you just played that first few songs?
Yeah, first few songs, and then I thought, okay, I got it. I remember the arrangements. It's good.
Did the boys contact you when you in '99 to bring you into the band, or did you go to them and audition?
No, Copper called me one day, just like out of the blue, like, hello.
And now here
How are you?
2025. You're still playing.
Yeah.
Yes.
I
had
said
to make
hello.
One more phone call.
Hello, how are you? And then there was silence. I was testing him.
There's also another band member, your bassist, and he's not here, but there was a few questions for him, but maybe you guys can answer for me.
Yeah.
So he, 2-string bass. Do you guys know why he has a 2-string bass?
Because he doesn't want to play on any more than 2 strings.
Fair enough.
Because that's gonna confuse him.
And it's enough.
It's an overwhelming experience already with 2 strings.
And you can play the entire AC/DC catalog on 2 strings on a bass. So actually, it's only show off with 4 strings.
So 2 strings is enough.
Yeah.
And he also has got some like costumes and like on his, I think it's like a missile.
Yeah.
That's sick.
Yeah.
Where did he come up with that idea? You know?
It's a long career. There's actually he only comes up with a good idea every 3rd year. No. It's self-explanatory, because the idea has always been like a graphic band, and we want to put on a show and want to dress up and do something stupid to be known, to be have your own little Instagram moment even before Instagram was. I think it's a way of communicating and taking it to a place where you feel comfortable.
Do you think, speaking of like the social media, do you think since you guys have like all this Instagram, YouTube, you can push your shows out and your songs out, do you think you've had more of an audience come in, like a bunch of new fans, or do you think it's still the same? Or do you think
it's a way of communicating with the old fans, and that's really, really great.
The whole thing about coming to Australia again was because of traffic on the internet. We started communicating with fans and getting a thing going. So came
when
off
did
from
you
that.
come to Australia last?
That was 2.5 years ago.
Okay. When was your first time?
1990.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
How was that? 1990, do you guys remember?
Oh yeah, we remember. We had a great time, but we didn't really tour. We only had a couple of one-offs.
Maybe it was 89 actually. We did. What did we do? We went to Japan on promotion, and straight from Japan to Australia for promotion, and we did like a showcase show, I think, something like that. 89 or 90, I can't remember.
That's awesome. Awesome. Yeah, because I know some bands like, from like that era have never come here.
Yeah.
Like the scene is like calling on them to come here.
Yeah.
Like, so speaking of that, how important is live shows nowadays? Because everything's.
It seems like it's just as important as it's ever been. It seems like people want to get out of their screens and into reality. So I think that people want to, they just want to have a little break for their screens. And I think that the way to communicate, everybody felt it during Corona or the COVID. After the COVID, the whole live scene has blossomed in a weird way.
Do you think the music is coming back from back in the day, or do you think it's still going on a different direction?
No, I hope that it's not coming back in that sense. I hope that everything fans out and there's room for everyone.
Yeah, that's fair.
I think that subcultures now, like hard rock is a subculture, but it's a really big subculture, and younger people have like their kind of music, and you have never heard about it, and it's massive, like stadium shows. You never heard about it. I think, and the whole market is just grown and grown and grown. People want to get out and get together,
Yeah.
which is a positive thing.
Like you said, it's better than just watching on a screen.
Absolutely.
I know these guys will probably be hearing on watching it on the screen, so it doesn't help. But yeah, like during that COVID time, did you guys spend it on writing music, or did you do? Because I know some bands did like virtual shows. So what got you through that COVID?
When the first panic subsided, we did some very, very controlled shows with like people sitting down, and it was actually a great experience. It was weird and it was awkward, but it made us play a lot better because we had no show to disguise. We just had to play really, really good. So it was actually a great thing for us to just. It was like a live studio recording / radio show / something, and you just had to stand there and play your music as best you could.
Awesome. Yourself?
We did when the lockdown opened a bit, then we did these shows. But in the lockdown, I took it like as a gift to do nothing for months.
That's fair enough.
Yeah.
I did the same.
Yeah.
So before we do a Q&A and wrap up, I just want to ask, you guys mentioned albums and tours, but what's next for you guys? Is there anything else the fans should know?
We're touring and touring and touring. So that's the plan. We are already booking the 26 calendar, and so mostly festivals all over Europe.
No signs of stopping or slowing down at all? Just
Not for the foreseeable future. But there's one thing maybe, if we're lucky, the big anniversary show, 40th anniversary show from a big arena in Copenhagen, and if we're lucky, that'll be like a big high definition on YouTube or something in the later of this year, so fans all over the world can see the whole expensive package for nothing.
that's awesome. Well, thank you guys so much. I'm going to do some Q&A questions and
Yeah.
we'll wrap it up. So, on my piece of paper.
Yep.
There we go. So the first one is favorite record that you guys made.
Our own record?
Yeah, favorite.
Okay. No Fuel Left for the Pilgrims.
Everything glows.
Right. Favorite song off that record?
I cannot say anything favorite, but I can say that there's a B-side that was released together with Everything Glows. It's called I'm a Little Cloud. That song lives rent-free in my head all the time. It's very crazy. It never gets out of my head. So it's not a favorite, but it's a thing that's always living in my head. So it's a strange B-side called I'm a Little Cloud.
And yourself?
Point of View.
I love that. So that's my favorite of that record. What got you into like the music scene back in the day?
The Ramones.
The Ramones, yeah.
Yeah.
Ramones.
What song from the bands do you like?
The album called Ramones It's Alive, and that's that record made me want to make a band, and I still listen to that record. It's a masterpiece.
I think it's on the third side, like ABC, the C side of there's a song called Oh I Love Her So. That's like the favorite song on that album.
Awesome. Any plans on touring in France or Italy?
Yes, we're playing 2 festivals in France this year,
Okay.
and not Italy this year. No.
No? And last one.
Actually, sorry. No, go on.
No. Last one. How did you guys get into your instruments? You obviously with your guitar and vocals. What was it, the Ramones, or was it something else that got you into that?
You know what? We made a band in school. We got to use the music room by the janitor. He let us in, and we made a band with one of our friends, one of our skateboard friends, and I think maybe Jesper played the drums, and our friend he played the guitar, and I was singing because I couldn't play anything. And then a few weeks on, I played guitar. I think Jesper was singing and playing the bass, and our friend was playing the drums.
So just a bit of a mismatch.
Definitely. Just to see what, so nobody had really an idea. It was trial and error, that's what it was. We chose got into our instruments by trial and error.
How old were you guys when you started that little band in school? Do you know?
I would have been like 13, 14 at that time.
Yeah. So 14, 15, so.
And then just the love of music just grew from there, and then
Yeah.
obviously the drums.
Yeah, and the thing that, forming a band, that was like the coolest thing you could ever do.
Well, actually, I've got one more question. This is from myself.
Mm-hmm.
If you guys want to form a band or play an instrument, what are some tips to like form a band or get onto an instrument?
Love you. Get into an instrument. Try to see the magic of just hanging out with yourself and doing it. But most of all, maybe hook up with some good friends. And if you want to be successful, or you want to move a little, try to get out of your comfort zone. Make something that is a little weird, a little different, something that the other around you don't do. Stuff like that.
Awesome.
Practice, practice, practice. No matter what you do, if it's sports or music or whatever, practice, practice, practice.
Well, thank you guys so much for this interview.
Thank you.
guys were a bit busy.
Can we keep the microphones?
I love these.